She almost missed it. The morning looked like every other morning. The same walls, the same sunlight creeping in at the same angle, the same quiet rhythm of routine. But then one small detail revealed the truth. She wasn't in the same reality anymore. If you're listening now, it means you've felt this too. That subtle slip where the world feels almost right, almost familiar, until something tiny betrays the illusion. Here's the first belief to break. Shifting doesn't feel like stepping into science fiction. It feels like waking up inside a dream that perfectly mimics your life, until a single crack appears in the mirror. From the neuroscience view, the brain isn't a perfect recorder. It's a prediction machine, sculpting patterns out of billions of signals. When your subconscious shifts, your predictions change. Suddenly, the background details, the ones you usually overlook, start speaking. From the quantum view, the collapse has already occurred. The universe has chosen its shape. Your awareness is only catching up, noticing where the new frame no longer matches the old picture. Imagine walking through a corridor lined with paintings. At first, every frame looks the same. Then, in one painting, a tree that used to be green is now red. That's the signal. You've already crossed. So I ask you, when was the last time the world felt slightly off? Not wrong, but not quite the same. Breathe into awareness. Her story begins on what should have been another ordinary day. She took her usual path to the park, the same walk she had made countless mornings, same streets, same birdsong, same strangers passing by. But then she noticed something. The old oak tree at the park's entrance had always leaned left, its trunk bent like an old spine. That day, it stood tall and straight, as though time had reversed its weight. She froze. How could a century-old tree stand different overnight? And then, another detail. A man on the bench who seemed to recognize her. He smiled warmly, as if they were old friends. She had never seen him before. Yet others greeted him as if he belonged. At first, she tried to explain it away. Maybe the tree had been trimmed, maybe she had forgotten its shape, maybe the man was simply new to the neighborhood. But deep down, a quiet voice whispered, "This isn't the same strand of reality you fell asleep in." From the neuroscience view, this is prediction error. Your brain builds a model of the world and then constantly checks it against reality. When the gap grows too large, the model shatters. That shatter feels uncanny because the brain is forced to rewrite its map. From the quantum view, she had simply tuned to a different outcome. The tree, the man, the smile, markers of rearrangement. Imagine a shelf of books, each telling the story of your life. Each morning, you reach for the same one, but today, without realizing, your hand landed on the next volume. So I ask you, when life offers you a strange page, do you turn it? Or do you close the book and pretend nothing shifted? Breathe into trust. The oak tree was only the beginning. In the days that followed, more cracks appeared in the mirror. Her sister remembered a trip they had never taken together. A favorite cafe played a song she swore had never existed. A word slipped from her own lips, one she had never used, yet it came out effortlessly, as if it had always belonged to her tongue. At first, she felt dizzy. Her mind wrestled for control. I must be misremembering. I must be tired. I must be wrong. But the more she noticed, the harder it became to deny. From the neuroscience view, this is the fork. Assimilation or accommodation. The brain can bend reality back into its old frame, or it can stretch to contain a larger world. Stretching is harder, but it opens doors. From the quantum view, these weren't accidents. They were markers of resonance, breadcrumbs from the field, guiding her toward recognition. Imagine looking up at the night sky. The constellations have always been familiar, their shapes fixed since childhood. But tonight, Orion's belt has shifted by one star. Subtle, but undeniable. That's when you know the sky you grew under is no longer the same. So I ask you, What detail refuses to fit into your old story? Breathe into recognition. At first, she resisted. She clung to reason like a life raft. I'm imagining things. My brain is confused. Reality is fixed. But denial grew heavier with every sign. And one night, she whispered to herself, "What if it's true? What if I really am standing inside another version of the world?" The moment she admitted it, something strange happened. Not fear, but calm. Here's the belief to break. Fear doesn't mean danger. Fear often means your old self is dissolving and your mind is scrambling to catch up. From the neuroscience view, this is dissonance resolving. The brain resists contradictions, but once the tension breaks, clarity replaces panic. From the quantum view, fear is turbulence, what it feels like when you step into a new orbit. The shake doesn't mean collapse, it means recalibration. Imagine standing on a bridge of glass stretching between two shores. Behind you, the land of familiarity. Ahead, the land of uncertainty. The bridge trembles as long as you look back, but the moment you face forward, the trembling stops. That night, she turned forward. And in that moment, the new world solidified beneath her feet. So I ask you, what would change if you stopped explaining away the cracks and simply allowed them to be real? Breathe into acceptance. After she accepted the shift, life itself rearranged around her. Conversations carried new depth, opportunities arrived unforced. Even her own thoughts began to sound wiser, as though borrowed from a version of herself who had been waiting here all along. Here's the belief to break. Reality doesn't move first. You do. And once you shift, reality catches up. From the neuroscience view, her subconscious updated its filters. The brain's reticular system lit up different signals, highlighting patterns that matched her new state. From the quantum view, her frequency aligned. The field had no choice but to deliver pieces of the puzzle that belonged to this version of her life. Imagine standing at a giant table covered in puzzle pieces. For years, she forced mismatched shapes into place, but now the pieces began to move themselves, sliding into alignment without struggle. So I ask you, which puzzle pieces are already moving toward you, and will you let them fall into place? Breathe into alignment. With time, she realized something profound. The shift wasn't random. It wasn't luck. It was something she could participate in. Here's the belief to break. You don't have to wait for the shift. You can tilt reality yourself. She began experimenting, replacing worry with trust before sleep, asking, what if the better version of reality is already true? And each time she did, the world bent slightly, offering subtle proof in return. From the neuroscience view, this was neuroplasticity. New thoughts wired new paths, and those paths led to new choices, which reinforced the shift. From the quantum view, it was resonance tuning. Each new tone she held collapsed a different possibility into being. Imagine standing before a sea of strings, each vibrating with a different song. At first, they hum at random, but then she begins to pluck with intention, choosing which notes to play. The strings respond, harmonizing with her. So I ask you, if your thoughts are strings, what melody have you been playing? And what melody will you choose next? Breathe into intention. But then she discovered the most important truth. Visualizing is not the same as embodying. She had spent years daydreaming about a better life, but the visions always dissolved, leaving her stuck. What changed now was embodiment. She didn't just imagine her new self, she began living as her. She spoke differently, walked differently, chose differently. From the neuroscience view, this is identity alignment. The brain syncs behavior with self-image. Once she believed, I am already her, the nervous system stopped resisting. From the quantum view, this was embodiment resonance. The field responds to what you are, not what you want. Imagine putting on a cloak of light. At first, it feels foreign, but the longer you wear it, the more it fuses to your skin. Until you no longer wear it, you are it. So I ask you, are you still picturing the life you want, or are you already walking as the one who lives it? Breathe into embodiment. With each step, her confidence grew. And soon, shifting no longer felt extraordinary. It felt natural. Here's the belief to break. Shifts aren't rare. They're constant. You just rarely notice them. From the neuroscience view, this was interoception, her body signaling alignment. She could feel the tilt, like sensing the sway of a ship at sea. From the quantum view, she had learned to read the field. The subtle signs were no longer random. They were the map itself. Imagine walking through a landscape of stars. With every step, the constellations rearrange above you. At first, you don't notice, but then you realize the entire sky is tilting to match your path. So I ask you, what if every small change you notice is proof you are already moving between worlds? Breathe into inevitability. Eventually, she reached the turning point. She stopped asking, did I really shift? She didn't need proof anymore. Here's the belief to break. The shift becomes real the moment you stop needing evidence. Books appeared with the exact phrases she had been pondering. Strangers echoed words from her journal. Opportunities arrived without her reaching. She no longer called them coincidences. They were convergences, the inner world and outer world locking into harmony. From the neuroscience view, her brain's filters had permanently shifted. It no longer prioritized the old story. From the quantum view, the resonance had stabilized. The field could not help but answer. Imagine standing still as streams of light bend toward you, not because you chase, but because they cannot resist your gravity. So I ask you, what if you stopped searching for proof and simply lived as though it were already true? Breathe into convergence. Her journey taught her this: shifts don't arrive with thunder. They arrive as whispers, a tree standing straighter than it should, a word falling from your mouth you've never spoken, a stranger's face that somehow belongs. That's how timelines tilt. Quietly, inevitably. Here's the final belief to break. You don't need to chase change. You only need to notice it, accept it, and step into the self who already belongs here. From the neuroscience view, your brain is alive, rewiring with every thought. From the quantum view, the field holds every possibility, waiting for the one you embody. Imagine standing before an infinite horizon. Every path glows with possibility. With each step, the ground lights up beneath you, proving reality is forming in response to you. You don't have to wait. You are already moving. The only question is, which tone will you carry into this week's reality? Drop one word in the comments. Trust, ease, power, presence, flow. Let's choose together. Breathe into embodiment.